Minister of Police Bheki Cele and Justice Minister Ronald Lamola will at 1400 hours update the nation on the progress of the manhunt of convicted murderer and rapist Thabo Bester. For more, we now cross to SABC News International Editor Sophie Mokoena. Very good afternoon, Sophie. What is the reaction from Rwanda on the story?
Well, clearly I'm live from Rwanda. I am giving an update in terms of the story that we are chasing currently in relation to that media briefing at 1400 today, where the Minister of Police and Minister of Justice are expected to brief the media. Our team in Dar es Salaam spoke to the authorities in Dar es Salaam, the police, who indicated that they don't have information, and they were directed to Arusha, a different city, a different capital, and they spoke to the commissioner in Arusha, who also indicated that they are still investigating. They wouldn't comment or confirm the arrest of the two people that you are talking about, but indeed it is common for people who commit crime to cross borders. And there were reports last week, subtle reports, that he might have crossed the border, and people were talking about the border between South Africa and Mozambique, and it couldn't be confirmed. And therefore, now there are reports, Mzilikazi wa Africa posting on his Twitter account that the guy, Thabo Bester, even though it's not yet confirmed, has been apprehended in Arusha, a different capital city from Dar es Salaam, where our colleagues are, but they are chasing the story. At 3 o'clock, we will give update after the minister has spoken and the Minister of Justice. But the reality is, it is common for people who have committed crimes to cross borders, and that is why we talk about the cross-border crime and also the importance of that treaty, the extradition treaty. Fortunately, in the SADC region, most countries, they do have such a treaty amongst themselves as part of a protocol in relation to being a member of the SADC community, and therefore if he is indeed in Tanzania, it will be easy for South Africa to communicate with Tanzania to kickstart the process to ensure that that person, if he is a South African and indeed a wanted person in South Africa, is apprehended.
Has there in recent times been a crime of this nature that has just caught South Africans' imaginations? And certainly when we talk about, the cross-border treaties, how criminals tend to run from one country to another to escape the long arm of the law in the country where they initially commit the crime. Has there been in recent times a crime of this nature that has really caught the attention of South Africans and perhaps Southern Africa as a whole?
Well, of course, you're talking about Bushir, who left South Africa, went to Malawi, and South Africa is still struggling to get him back to South Africa to answer in terms of the allegations leveled against him. You also recently have the case of the Gupta brothers, Atul and Rajesh, who we are told that the United Arab Emirates authorities, the court there, has decided not to approve the extradition of these two family members, the Gupta brothers, to South Africa because South Africa didn't comply with papers. South Africa, on the other hand, saying that they did comply, and the Minister of Justice saying that he did suspect as early as January, when he couldn't get communication from his counterpart in the United Arab Emirates with his pending visit to the United Arab Emirates, that something was fishy. And now it has appeared, or it has transpired, that that extradition was declined in February. We are in April, and that speaks to the challenges you have when you deal with issues of extradition. But I think with this one, it might be a different case. When you look at the relationship between South Africa and Tanzania, they date back to exile years. Recently, we hosted the president of Tanzania, Suluhu Hassan. And therefore, I think if indeed there's someone that must be apprehended to South African authorities, South Africa will kickstart the processes, and I can't see Tanzania doing what Malawi and the United Arab Emirates have done. I think this one might be easier.